Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. I thought that it was about time, probably, that I answer some of the comments, and the many comments, the storm of comments that have come about our American visitor of the moment, who is here, among other things, to meet with Lina. And the hope there is that in time it will make sense for them to get married. So, the comments the comments range from he looks like a nice guy to I don't like this guy, I think he's a pervert, and it can't be a wider range than that, can they? Nice guy to pervert. So let's try to just get a bit of balance in it. For one thing, Mike is here to see Lina. He's not here to see anybody else. He's not here to see if he likes Nanai or Taliklik or Beth or me. He's here to see how it would go with Lina. Now, is it unusual for someone to communicate for maybe, I think it was probably around 6 months, but I'm guessing I could be contradicted on that, and quite rightly so. Right, but I believe it's around 6 months, that since he saw Lina on one of our videos or two of our videos, and he liked what he saw, and he communicated to Lina, and Lina rose to the challenge of trying to learn English fast and overcome what is for her extreme shyness and reserve. Okay, so that's very obvious. Now, he said that he would come out to see her. He was as good as his word. He also wanted to meet us, Beth and I. He wanted to see what things were like in our simple life, which is often the motivation for many of our visitors. They're not coming to find a wife, they're coming to see what life is like in the simplest way on our hill. So that was something that he wanted to see as well, because when people watch the videos, they're not just watching one person, even if it is one person that has the keys to their heart. So he looked at what was happening, a lot of what was happening here and on other channels, interested him enough to come, and certainly he was interested in coming and meeting Lina face to face. He did that. All of the communication that had gone before came in and snowballed. It was a domino effect, wasn't it? All of that communication. And any of you, and I know that many of you have met people on the internet, and that as a result of meeting them, you've ended up, some of you say that you've ended up spending as much as 3 or 4 hours a day on the phone, working it between your work hours, your schedules, the time difference, all of that, and you've made it happen. Well, that's what Lina and Mike did. And Mike had the help of 2 friends who are also a mixed culture marriage. The lady is Filipino and the man, I believe, is American. But anyway, he's a foreigner. And they helped them with, as go-betweens, they helped them with interpretations, translations, as Beth did. Beth talked things over with Lina many times. Now, what else has been said about Mike? Oh gosh, what hasn't been said about Mike? He's a lovely guy, he's open, he's funny, he's cute, he's this, he's that, he's weird, he hasn't brought enough clothes with him, where's his teeth, why doesn't he get dentures? It's a lot of stuff, you know, and some of it some of it is well-intentioned, but a little bit on the bizarre side. So for as much as Mike may appear weird to some people, some of the things that are being said appear to be weird to us. The guy is funny. He is sincere, I believe, in his wish that things will go well with Lina. Now, will that ensure success? No, it won't. I've been sincere in my wish to have it go well with people before, both male and female, not men of the romantic persuasion, but I mean friends, and it hasn't. Things have gone wrong, and they haven't been what they seem, or I haven't been what I seem to them. So things change, things can get upset, things can get messed up, and also things can go wonderfully well. So he packed light so that he would only have carry-on. He's not an experienced traveller, just wising you up on this. He did not know that a slight nick in a banknote would make any difference here, believing only that it was a genuine banknote. So that was a surprise that he got. He believed that the ATM would work. Now, he's asked questions and he's been told, well, here's one way that you can handle your money. You can work with an ATM card. Now, it's really important that you follow all of the instructions. And if you're following instructions of how to get somewhere, and they say, well, you should go left 4 blocks, and then right 3 blocks, and left 7 blocks, and you get the blocks wrong, then you won't get where you were asking to go. And I think that that's probably what happened with Mike. I believe he was told you can do your financial business through the bank, and you can do it with an ATM card. I do it with an ATM card. And when he got out here, for one reason and another, the bank that is in Taliban would not help him. So he's now made his other arrangements. He's got backup, that he's got people that can help him, that he may not have a huge number of family who can do what he wants to do and do it now, is not it's not an indication of either bad character or good character. It's simply an indication of the way that things sometimes are. Now, just to give you an idea, at one point I neglected, as an American citizen, I neglected to answer the "Are you dead or alive?" letter. That's what I call them. When you're on a pension from the US, once a year, at some unknown date, they send a letter to you, and the letter comes through the post office. It's snail mail. Now, provided you get that letter and answer it and send the response by snail mail in the envelope that it came provided with, they will believe that you are either dead or you need to get in touch with them. Well, if they then stop your pension, it's up to you to get in touch with them and say, hey, you stopped my pension, which means that you're alive. And then starts the lengthy process of getting them to reinstate the pension. So things can go badly out here when a bank doesn't help you, when it's your bank in America that doesn't help you. Now, I remember that when my ATM card got fouled up, the little magnetic strip that's on the back suddenly became curly at one end, pushed it into the ATM machine, and it messed it up even more. It wouldn't work. So then was an agonizingly long, drawn-out thing where in the end I actually emailed the CEO of Wells Fargo and said, aren't you embarrassed by what's going on? Do you have an ATM card that I could borrow? Because when I went through to customer service in Wells Fargo, the woman actually said, in answer to my impassioned plea for access to my own money, she said, don't you have any friends you could borrow from? Well done, Wells Fargo. Well, Mike has been having something of the same problem, and I've been listening to him get more and more frustrated on the phone as he eventually says to the person who's trying to help him, "Where are you?" And the person says, "I'm in Florida." He said, "My bank is in Colorado." "Yes, sir," said the man, "but I'm in Florida." Well, apparently I haven't spoken to him for a couple of days because we have been in Cebu doing some business there, which turned out to be very good news. So I can't tell you what the actual thing is happening because, as I say, a couple of days and a night I haven't seen him. But I anticipate that he has managed to get things organized. Now, meantime, the other comments that you've had is, why doesn't Lina talk? Why doesn't she know any English? Why doesn't he know any Visayan? Why doesn't he change his shirt? Why doesn't he put his teeth in if he's got some? All of these questions. Anyway, keep them coming in, but try to get a little balance about this man. You know, he's not my brother. Neither is he my son or my father or my cousin. He's somebody that is interested in my sister-in-law, and we would like to help him and her find out if they are meant for each other. Now, a lot of you have jumped to conclusions and said, how can he come out here and after 5 minutes say that they're going to get married? Well, what happened was that according to the culture that is known and practiced by my mother-in-law, Nanai, which is what she did with me and Beth, she merely asked him, "What are your plans with my daughter?" Now, whatever culture you're in, isn't that reasonable? So, he said, "My intention, my hopes are to get married." So, the next question is obvious. Nanai said, "When?" And he said, "As soon as we can." But I can't give you, if you look back on the videos, you'll hear him say, I can't tell you an actual date. But his plan is to return to the States after the few weeks that he's here and start to get things wound up so that he can come back and live here. That was his wish. That's his wish. That's his dream. And he hopes that that dream will include Lina. Lina, in the meantime, will continue to learn English. As you've all now discovered, Talik is much, much better at English than she ever lets on. Isn't that always the way with Filipinos? With Filipinos, is they have what's called a nosebleed, and that means that they are suffering a lack of confidence in speaking English to someone whose first language is English. If they were trying each amongst themselves, they would be fine. But if they're talking to someone who actually speaks English as a first language, then they start to get nervous and lack confidence. Even though when it's me that they lack confidence with, I tell them that I'm still struggling with English myself, and if only I could speak Visayan as well as they speak English, I would be very proud. So I admire them for the English that they can speak, and they should not have a nosebleed. That's my way of handling it. Now, he is going to return, as I said, and then he thinks probably 6 months is what it will take. Now, some of you said, well, if he's only 61, he can't claim his pension. Well, we don't know. Is that 61 and a quarter? Is it 61 plus 1 month? Is it 61 plus 11 months? We don't know. So we shouldn't make assumptions and then be so verbal and judgmental in what our conclusion is. For me, I care very much what happens with this relationship, because Lena is a lovely lady and she deserves the best, and she is my sister-in-law and Beth's sister and part of our close family here on the hill. So we are very concerned. We are very concerned about Talik, because the unknown element is one which requires caution. It doesn't require panic, it requires caution. And while Lena has a 2-bedroomed house, modest though it is, she has a 2-bedroomed house. She can accommodate Mike easily. Now, how would that work that Mike was there in the house if Talik was there? Well, for us, it would not. So it's a very simple solution. She's staying with Nana, her grandma, and she often does that anyway. So it's not a big upheaval. In fact, both Bibi and Talik Lik often spend days and days and days at a time with Nanai. So that's our solution there. Now, as far as Talik Lik being safe with anybody, it's a difficult thing to, and those of you with daughters, especially with daughters with stepfathers, will know that it's difficult to be able to educate without frightening kids. So you want to let them know that there are no secrets. Any so-called friend, uncle, cousin, boyfriend who suggests this is our little secret. No. Mom, grandma, they are the only ones that you would trust that much, I think. And even then, they wouldn't say to you, this is our secret. If someone says it's our secret, you mustn't tell anybody, it usually means there's something that's not quite right. So you get that point over. And the other thing that they've been talking about in the West for, I don't know, years, and that is inappropriate touch. And pretty well, I think most kids, certainly in the West, would recognize what was inappropriate. Okay? So, other than saying that and saying that they just need to be careful of everyone who might touch them inappropriately. No exceptions. Okay? So, we've done our best to educate, we've done our best to make sure that Talik Lik and Bibi know what their boundaries really are. So, that's been taken care of too. Thanks for caring on that, and we'll leave it off on this. I did want to just say all of this because it's important to us to allow this couple a little bit of freedom, a little bit of room, space to grow in, and constant criticism, education, opinions, it's not really helping. Okay, so the other thing is that no one is forcing anybody to have any kind of food, and we've never been able, while we've been doing videos which are supposedly, which are supposed to be fun, we've had many people who have thought for some reason that a video that takes a few minutes to unfold means that that's everything, all the time, permanent. In other words, one little video showing eating shellfish is equivalent to never eating anything but shellfish. Filipino food. We're being asked, don't force Filipino food on your visitors. It's not fair. Filipino food. Now, the last dinner that we had with Mike and Lina and Taliklik, Nanai, with Beth and with myself, let me see what the menu was. It was boiled rice, fish, which I believe was grilled or barbecued, crab, I think there were some shellfish, and mixed vegetables. Now, for me, I had mixed vegetables because I'm not eating any... oh yes, I think that there was barbecue chicken as well, either chicken or pork. Now, I think that pork is fairly international. Even as a child I knew about pork, so that was in Manchester, so we'll say it's international. Pork. Fish, I believe, swim everywhere. They don't just think Filipino. They're not Filipino citizens, they're everywhere. Chicken, barbecue chicken, yes, those little suckers are making a noise on everybody's video that is trying to vlog out there. Rice. Rice is pretty well known all over the world. What was the other thing? Mixed vegetables. That's what people have been saying, that Beth should feed me. Feed your husband nutritious food. Boy, I eat pretty good, okay? And there were some people who said, why are you buying, Beth, why are you buying wigs? Why don't you use that money to put food on the table? I can't eat a wig, can I? And I'm not being asked to. So, cut us all some slack. And we'll be back making another video. Incidentally, those of you who said that the videos are too short, I'm looking here, my God, 22 minutes. Damn. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Bye for now.